guys, I wanted to cover a really powerful topic, and I wanted to do it on a YouTube video because let's be honest, I haven't put enough content on this for a little while. So thank you for being patient, my YouTube subscribers and everybody else who is following me on social media. I really appreciate you. I've had such a busy few weeks in a good way, and things have been moving at incredible pace. I think it's just that time of year when all the partnerships, all the kind of investors aligned, and we are doing big things at Fortune Academy and the Billionaire Project. Just in case you're not aware, I am holding a massive event on the 1st of June. And this is my first big comeback event for the financial trading market, something that I've been doing since 2012. I became the world's first female financial trader educator. And that's something I take very seriously because this is a male-dominated world, and everybody that's good at making money seems to be male, especially the ones talking about it or in the news, etc. So I wanted to be that representation for the female world because I've only ever worked and played in a world full of alpha male dominance, and I kind of thrive in that world. I feel like this is the real world where I should be competing in because I was raised as an equal. In case you didn't know, I am one of 3 girls. My dad had no sons, my mom and dad, and they kind of treated me, just me, as their son in the way of, hey, if anyone is going to provide us with some help and support financially, mentally, whatever, it was me. So anyway, that's the role I took on. And I feel like that's a big part of the discussion today, because today what I'm going to talk about is, how do you make money in 2024 or in any kind of year? This is stuff that's stuck true to me since I started my financial journey or investment journey in 2004. So 20 years later, I'm here kind of giving you the summary of what works, what doesn't work, and why I do the 3 different things that I'm obsessed with. Actually, I do 4 different things, but I wanted to share it with you. So those of you who are new to me, I appreciate you following me. Please subscribe my YouTube video because I will definitely be putting more content out like this. I tend to put out content that is the stuff that I wish I saw on YouTube because, everybody wants to have guidance on how do you make more money? How do you do things right? How do you not lose money? How do you improve your money game, full stop? And all of those things I want to share with you. I do a lot of things and I do them in a plate spinning exercise. So I've always learned one thing in life, which is you cannot be a one-trick pony. Right? So if you want to be a real millionaire, which is something I achieved as a status in my 20s, and I did it through one asset class, and I'm going to share these asset classes, right? I'm going to share 3 different asset classes with you in this video, but I did it through just one asset class initially, and I did it in a 3-year period. Then I moved on to a different asset class, and I became really good at that. And then I moved on to a 3rd different asset class, which I'm doing. And technically there is also a 4th, but it kind of merges with the rest, right? So I am so excited to share this with you because if you really want to be good at making money, you need to understand different asset classes. So let's just write that word in here for one, right? Asset classes. This is huge. And in fact, if you guys are coming to my event on the 1st of January, 1st of June in Manchester, I'm doing it at the Etihad Stadium. This is a sponsor. The Man City sponsors are sponsoring me. This is huge. I'm very excited. I'm very honored. And therefore I take it really seriously. They've picked the best, obviously, to teach you the financial literacy skills. We're going to cover asset classes, but in this video, I'm just giving a quick summary, right? Because I feel like if you understand what's going on here, then of course, come to my Manchester event that's happening in Manchester City Stadium. And we've got people flying in from the US. We're only taking a small group of people, but you know what? We're going to be oversubscribed because it's a free event. I know we're going to have more registrations than people that turn up. That's always the case. So that's why I'm going to keep pushing it because I don't know who's going to turn up until the day. You could register, but there's no guarantee you're going to turn up. So that's why we are going to talk about this for ages. We're going to keep talking about it because we're only 2 weeks away now, or less than 2 weeks away. I am super excited. I want to get you out there. What I'm going to cover on that day is how to understand different asset classes, and then why are the Man City sponsors willing to give you $1 million to trade with? Wow, that's big money, right? And what do you do with it? Like, they can't just give it away to anyone. Who's going to decide whether you get that money? Me. So I'm going to have to educate you first. I am very, very strict with my standards. So you're going to have to be up to my standard to get that kind of money. So let's take this video seriously, because if I were you, pen and paper ready, start taking notes, because this is real education, real financial education, which I never learned at university. I never learned at school, you know, and I went to one of the best universities in the world and also the best schools, private independent schools. They don't teach you about money, you know, and I don't need you to, like, you know this, we live in a world where social media always talks about we don't get financial literacy at school. So therefore, this stuff that I'm doing here, the ed tech company that I launched in 2012 onwards, that's huge, right? This is why I love doing what I do, because I can't see real change being created unless someone like you watching this video implements what I'm teaching you here. So I'm really excited. Let's go. So what are the asset classes that you need to be thinking about, and what are the ones I invest in? Let's start with the obvious ones. When I came out of university, I became obsessed with property. Property, because it's the oldest form of asset class. It's not new. You all know what property is. We all live in one. The whole world needs houses. So we're never going to have that go out of fashion. Now, how and when do houses work and houses not work, right? The problem with houses and investing in houses is, one, you can't always get a good price. For me, it's all about the strategy of how you invest into property. For me, it's all about price. If you're buying market value, forget it, right? It's just not my kind of thing. And I never bought anything for market value. My aim was always buy below market value. I teach this in another program called Fast Track Property. But anyhow, second thing is how you buy it. Not many people can buy properties because you need a mortgage or you need investors. I offer 100% bridging finance because that's how I bought my property, using other people's money and 100% of it to fund my purchases. But they don't just happen casually. They must be done with a purpose. So number one is all about the price you buy. Number two is how you buy it. If you don't have the money to buy properties, because a typical mortgage rate would be, a typical mortgage would involve you to put a deposit, and then the rest will be back based on the lender giving you an actual mortgage, right? And let's be honest, in this day and age, getting a mortgage is super difficult. It is not easy, and therefore many people are priced out of the property game. And that's how I am helping with my 100% bridging finance. So if you are interested in this, by the way, make sure you click on the link below. That is, you know, either go straight to WhatsApp. Oh, actually, I prefer this. I prefer you tell me, get on the waiting list. That means that you get to get an invite to my property event or any of the events I'm going to be talking about here, any of these asset classes that are interesting to you. I will invite you to an event that is just for that. And you have to be on the waiting list. So once you're on the waiting list for that, I will get my team to invite you. Okay, so make sure you click on the link that says get on the waiting list. And that's how you're going to get information on my bridging finance. Okay, so property is one good thing. I love it for if you can buy below market value, if you can get 100% bridging finance, you know, and that's something I offer. But the only thing is, it's cash tied up, right? So this is good and bad. So it can be good and it could be bad. Why is it good? Because you can't use money that's already tied up. So it kind of feels like a safe place to put money, because you know, you can't get into your bad spending habits with that cash. You just have it tied up, and then you move on to doing something else, concentrate on your job or your business or whatever. But the bad thing about that is cash is tied up. So I find it very unattractive when cash is tied up into a property deal, so much so that, you know, I would only do that for money that I don't mind keeping aside. So having cash tied up isn't necessarily a good thing, because when you have so much cash tied up into your properties, or if you have equity in that property and you think, oh, well, you know, I'm wealthy, but you haven't got that money to use or deploy to try and get money out of a bank against your property, they're going to always give you a discount. This is a world of private equity and it's not liquid, right? So that's a disadvantage. You cannot really leverage that kind of money, or you can't negotiate. If I'm in a business deal and I say, hey, you need $1 million or you need £1 million, I've got that money, you can have it next week or you can have it tomorrow. You can't do that with property, right? Because with property, if you had all your money tied up in a bricks and mortar project, to get that money out, you're going to have to speak to lenders, you're going to have to speak to your bank managers, and they do not give you that money in one day. Whereas if you had the cash in the bank, Or if you had something else, which I'm going to talk about, then it really does make sense. Then you can actually make that big negotiation in business and say, hey, if you need that $1 million or pounds or euros, I can wire it tomorrow. That's really powerful. And that's what I actually thrive on. If you want to be good at business, if you want to be good at being an entrepreneur, full stop, you need to have access to money fast. So the next thing I want you to think about is, right, okay, if you haven't got this problem, so if the cash is tied up, then welcome to the world of financial trading, right? So financial trading is my second asset class. This was number one that I got into. This is number two. I got into this world in 2008. And the reason I did that is ultimately the crash happened and I couldn't buy any more products, more properties, because the mortgage product that I was relying on, it was called Mortgage Express, kind of just froze, and it just went under. So I was forced to be like, okay, what do I do in my life now? And of course I had money, I was okay, I was in a positive cash flow, I had rents coming through from my property portfolio, and I was okay, but I had no real freedom. So another thing about how you make your money is, what are you doing with your time, and how are you spending that time to actually earn that money? Property certainly didn't give me any freedom of time. I was spending all my free time negotiating property deals, looking after refurbishments and constantly micromanaging builders and stuff like that. And I was managing tenants too. And I was young, I was in my 20s. So, it's good to have done that. I had the experience, but it certainly did not give me freedom. I got my first bout of freedom after learning the world of financial markets. And in the world of financial markets, you are literally in the opposite world. It's called the public markets. It's not private. Private equity means your cash is tied up. Here you have, your cash is very liquid. If you want to withdraw your money, you can withdraw your money in a day, 2 days max, like you can take your money out. And that's like having your own bank account. Like, this is huge. Like, it's having the money and the liquidity of at least a few million. Now, imagine you had $1 million in the bank and you wanted it to wire somewhere for a negotiation, a business deal, or you just needed that extra cash, or you like the security of cash. That's the kind of security you get, or the kind of freedom and liquidity you get in the financial markets. So the reason I became obsessed with this, and I never ever stopped being obsessed with it, is because I realized the difference between property and the financial markets. One, your cash is strapped in the bricks and mortar. The other one, if you know what you're doing, the tough bit is the skill set and the lack of integrity around the people actually trying this market. It's so easy to start. Like, you only need a laptop, you need Wi-Fi software, and some people can do it without even, they can give it a go without even any proper education. And that's not trading, that's gambling, let's be honest. But if you learned it properly, and I learned how to trade from a trader in London, so I learned the proper way. And everything I teach you in Fortune Academy has been ultimately taken from that trader. So it's a very professional strategy. This is huge. And you don't even have to just take my word for it. My trader students have made so much money over the years. I have got so many records of my traders and their performances, and some of them will be actually telling you this on June the 1st. If you're able to make June the 1st, this is the event where I talk about financial markets, because there's big money in that one. And that's where the Man City sponsors are actually giving $1 million to trade with. Now, they're not going to give it to anyone. They're going to give it to people that understand how to trade safely. Hence, they pick me, because I'm like the master at safe trading. My training courses have had #1 in the world through the pandemic. We were the fastest growing online trading company, and we had our top selling product called Fast Track Forex. That's huge, and I want you guys to get access to that. So this is huge. If you really want that, again, link in the description here, you can have a look. But ultimately, when it comes to comparing asset classes, cash is tied up here. You are kind of taking up so much of your time. So it depends on your personality. If you really like people, property is your thing. If you don't like to talk to people on a regular basis and you want to be able to do this around your job, the other benefit is it only, and I'll use the green pen in this one, it only uses my strategies anyway, 1 hour a day. Now, there are so many ways you can trade the financial markets. Some people stare at the screen all day long, 7, 8 hours. Incorrect. You'll never make money that way. They call that day trading, and it's obsessively like it encourages gambling because you're staring at a screen, you're in and out, you've got the dopamine highs, the crazy cortisol, it's not healthy. That's a very addictive style of trading. It is not healthy, and that's why I limit you to 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day, you can replace your monthly income, whatever it is. I will show you how to do it on June the 1st with just using 1 hour a day. But the big caveat is to do this well, you need money. Need it, right? You need to have some. Now, you can't start with nothing. Here you can start with absolutely nothing. You just need, well, kind of, you need to be able to pay your legal fee. So nothing is free in life. You can't do anything with no money. But the one that needs, and this one you can start with really little money. It depends on the brokers and people like that. But guess what? This is why I'm even more excited. I have never in my life seen a broker giving up to $1 million to anyone, and they're Man City sponsors. That's big money. We all know that Man City Football Club as a whole is like super wealthy because of their money and injection of capital into this club. You're going to get a portion of this kind of, sponsorship money. And it's huge. So take advantage of it. And and they have picked someone who's very safe, me, to teach you how to trade safely 1 hour a day. So they don't want you to lose their money. They're not going to give it away to anybody. But you know what? The biggest thing that takes this negative from the financial markets away, to trade financial markets safely, you do need big money. And the only wow factor here is that they're willing to give you that startup money, right? This is huge. Like, take it. So if you want to learn more about how this asset class will make you wealthy and how you can replace, well, more than replace 3 times or 4 times your monthly salary, if you know what you're doing, I don't know what you guys are getting paid right now, but I know I've had some very high net worth individuals come to me, and we have reverse engineered any amount that they earn. We can show you how it works in terms of, I will show you how to replace your income using financial markets, but you've got to listen, you've got to execute safely, and you've got to put the risk management in place. If you do that, things are going to look good for you, right? So I'm happy to do that for you. This is huge, very exciting. So that's what's happening on June the 1st. Click on the link below to register. Remember, there are VIP and executive tickets. So if you want a guaranteed spot, pay for a ticket. If you don't, then it's first come, first serve on the day, because it's a free event. I've said only 100 spaces are allowed on that day because it's such an exclusive announcement that we're only doing 100 spots on the day. And that's we spoke to the sponsors of Man City, and I said, how many people do you want? And they said, oh, we just want, we want to keep it exclusive, 100 people, because they are giving a lot of money away. I get it. And so we know we're going to be oversubscribed. Right now, we're oversubscribed. We have way more than 100 people registered for this event. But I know that it's first come, first serve on the day. So unless you're queuing at 9:30, we start at 10:30. There's no way you're going to get a guaranteed spot in the actual event. And if you want to turn up casually, this is what I would do at 10:15 or whatever, have a paid ticket, because that way you can rock up at any time before the event starts, and you can queue jump, you can get straight into your seat, and you'll get front row seating with a table and a booklet and everything that, you're going to get your Man City book. It's going to be fun. You're going to come in and you'll have merch anyway. So this is fun. Gosh, I'm excited. You can tell, right? Anyway, let's talk about the asset classes. So these are 2 asset classes I love: property, financial markets. I will never stop talking about this. A lot of you have seen me talk about, the stuff I'm talking about, like the bridging finance. And in the last couple of years, I started really pushing the Billionaire project, right? And that takes me to my 3rd asset class. I've run out of space, so I'm going to go to the next page. The next big asset class for me, number 3, is TBP, which is standing for the Billionaire project. And this is where I'm investing in companies. And this is a form of private equity, right? Because again, I'm not putting money into public stock. So the difference why this is a private equity investment is because it's not public stocks. I'm not saying, hey, I'm going to teach you how to put money into Apple or Tesla. They are public listed companies. They have a stock price. You can trade them just like how you trade the currency market. You know, you can buy and sell shares and everything else. But that's a liquid market. It's also got a bit more risk. Although it's liquid, look, my liquidity in my asset class comes from the currency market. I love it. I don't need anything else. It's actually more recession proof than the stock market, because when you are trading the currency market, you are not a victim to, oh, we're in a recession. Oh, you know, like, because it's different. Currency market is euro against a pound or pound against a dollar. And I don't care what happens to the pound, you know, pound could drop, dollar could strengthen. The difference between the two, as long as there's a movement, we can make money. You can't say that about the stock market all the time. When you buy a stock of, let's say, Tesla here, and then Elon Musk says something and it goes down here, if you own that stock, you've lost money, right? So that's why I like the currency market. It's not like a singular stock. We're not trading indexes either, indices. We're not trading the one currency. We're trading the difference between the current currency exchanges. It's called foreign exchange. So that's why I love the currency market. It's recession proof. But in the world of stocks, you can still lose money, and it's more manipulated by founders and companies and press and all of that. Good press, bad press. You can have like manipulation in the stock price. So that's not what I'm talking about here. In the Billionaire Project, when I'm investing in companies, I've actually got a fund set up that invests into projects, ventures, whatever. And this is still private equity because it's not public listed. It is tied up cash. But of course, when I invest into companies, I negotiate a quarterly payout if there is applicable. You know, if someone's a cash flow positive company, then of course, for us to invest and we get an equity or whatever debt against the company, we would get our money back in quarterly months. You know, like we'd get interest on our, well, depending on whether you go for equity or debt, but let's assume you just go for straightforward equity, like a piece of the cake, piece of the pie. You invest. They use the money to roll out their next ventures, and a portion of their profits you get as an investor, you know, and that's what I love about private equity. It's also a win-win. It's more money than property. That's why I moved into it, you know, that's why I love it so much. And but it's still a whole new different game. Like it requires, so there's a lot of obstacles to get in, right? So the downside is you need financial literacy. Like you can't just rock up and try and buy a company or set up a fund without any knowledge. You need to know that, right? So that's the downside. And that's why I teach it. The other downside is you need big money, professional investors involved. Everybody can take money from their mom, dad, and family, friends, and that's not the kind of money that I'm talking about here. I never take investments from anyone, including you guys watching on social media. This is not for you. I would only work in the Billionaire Project. We're only working with high net worth family offices because they're so wealthy. These individuals have actually got a family office set up. They have people running their money. So that's called family office. Or institutions, that is, you are already another fund, or you are a bank, or you are another institutional network. We do not take retail money, i.e. people who are mom, dad type of people, or even if you're a high net worth corporate client of someone's or mine, we do not take your money for investing into any projects because you're not allowed to be in that. I don't want it, you know, I just feel like it's not right. So anyway, financial literacy is a downside, and having lots of access to money and investors. The good news, however, is that I will teach you and I will give you investors. If you want my investor network, that's why I set up the Billionaire Project, because my theory is a simple one and my philosophy is a simple one. Be the change you wish to see in the world. I want more people like me doing what I'm doing, and no one was doing it when I started. So that's why I became the world's first female financial trader educator. Then I progressed to showing people how I make money in different ways, in different things around financial, like the world. And that's the world of private equity here. This is like the world where billionaires are created, and it's not a casual process. And there was no one that looked like me on social media saying, hey, I'll teach you how to do it. Don't worry. If you want access to net investors, you know, I'll help you. And it's usually a male dominated world. So once again, here's me doing my thing and helping as many people as I can that look like me, that come from my background, which, by the way, never was from money. I came from a very humble background. Everything I've done has been through my tenacity. And yeah, I'll do lots of videos about how you're going to get your relationship with money right. Because to be honest, all of this, and this is why I have really emphasized this, that I can give you opportunities to make a lot of money, whether it's in property, financial trading, or even in the Billionaire project. All of which, by the way, if you're interested in, get on that waiting list and you tell me which bits you're interested in, and I'll invite you to my events. But the big thing here is, with all these opportunities, you can still screw it up. And that's because your relationship with money is a problem. And that's why I have put in a program called Fast Track Millionaire Mindset. Now, I'm not talking about it here because I'll do it in another video. But when you look at my event tickets for June the 1st, you'll see that every single VIP or executive option has come with a Fast Track Millionaire Mindset option. And why? Because I know that you guys can still screw up a really good opportunity. And the way to avoid that is to teach you exactly the steps that I've even used to avoid screwing up your money game. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to keep this video, I'm going to wrap it up because it's already longer than I wanted. I wanted to just summarize my 3 asset classes I love, okay, and the way I make money. And when we talk about the fourth one is actually online, e-commerce, right? E-commerce is a form of digital asset. So I've got private equity here, I've got financial markets, my other companies, and then the fourth one, which I absolutely love, has been digital assets, like online. I've got a tech company, it's called Fortune Academy. We have got so many paying clients that actually I've had so many investors want to throw money purely at that, because they're like, this one makes a lot of money because you already got online assets, etc. And that's, for me, it's like a win-win. I'm adding huge amount of value, and it's also such an investable company, right? So just wanted to give you a heads up of what I'm doing and what I think maybe you can learn from as well. Understand different asset classes. Number one, property, only worth doing if you know how to buy below market value, and if you know how to buy through bridging finance, like I offer 100%, for example. So the startup issue would be you need money. So the downside for property is that you do need, if you're going to be a traditional person and not listen to anything I say, then you need a deposit for your property, and you need to be mortgageable. So that's the downside, the money, the mortgage, and people can't even afford to get on the property ladder. But I solve all that by giving you bridging finance. And you make a lot of cash. But ultimately, when it comes, if I just did property, I think I'd be very bored, I'll be honest, because I like a challenge. It's very boring after a while, property, and I hate tenants. But ultimately, I don't like all my cash tied up in bricks and mortar. So, and the taxes around property are not that great. So I like to have my cash, I like to be liquid, because it's very powerful in a property, in any negotiation, in a business negotiation. So that's when I came across the second asset class, the financial markets, back in 2008, I was naive. I thought it was just like a bit of fun and I could just travel and the world and make money on my laptop. Correct, big tick. However, it's not easy. So the downside is the financial literacy needed. Like, you need to, the skill set is like a downside. But the good news is I teach it, and you can be very liquid, and you can do it around your job and your business. No one has to quit their job or business yet, ever. You only quit if you really want to. You may never want to, but it becomes your cash cow. I'll be talking about this on my June the 1st event, a huge amount of detail. The third asset class I absolutely love is the Billionaire project, where I'm doing the bigger private equity investments, which is like, investing in companies, etc. This is not, the downside for this is that is huge amount of financial literacy needed. Is effectively investment banking that you have to understand as well. And I am someone that will teach you that. I bring you out to Monaco and I teach you everything you need. You also need a very high net worth network of investors. You should not be taking friends and family money here. This is not the place for that. I don't believe in it anyway. So you should be very careful about the investors you work with. I only work with family offices, banks, and other funds, and they're all institutional people. Okay, so that's really important. I teach you everything, and you can use my investor network. So if you've got a project that you feel could benefit from funding and you want people's money and you want me to help you get that money or raise capital, then I will be the person that will teach you that on the Billionaire Project. But those three asset classes keep me very busy. And the fourth one that I didn't really mention, but I mentioned in passing, is digital assets, right? So I have digital assets in the form of my education technology company. This is huge. And this is something that I will never stop, because I don't know if I'll ever sell this company, but it's very investable. It's the first thing that everybody throws money at when they come and talk to me about, hey, Heather, how can we collaborate with you? They see the online education platform that I've created for over 10 years now, and they love it. They absolutely want that, because the clients I have are great. They come back because I'm adding so much value. I'm teaching people so much about making money and also managing their own finances. You become your own boss with your money, and that's really important to me. So everything I teach you here is designed to cover those three asset classes, even the fourth. If you really want to learn how to do this, I actually had a course, and I still have it. It's called Fast Track Business, and it's how to create an online business that, you know, makes so much money. And we were again teaching this over COVID because people needed to pivot to online. It's been huge. If you want that, speak to my team and they can help you, okay? So anyway, keeping it short, because I promise I could keep talking about this for hours. And if you want me to keep talking about this kind of stuff in more detail, step by step, come to my event, the Wealth Building Conference, 1st of June. It's happening in Manchester at the Etihad Stadium. This is going to be something I'm really looking forward to. And I hope you watched this video before. If you watched it after, I promise we'll be doing another one. Just click on the waiting list and make sure you're on the waiting list. Anyway, guys, I'm going to see you in the next video. I have plenty to talk about. If you have any comments about what topics you want me to cover, put your comments below. And otherwise, subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned, because I've got plenty coming up. Speak soon. Bye.